They must do that, right? Now, for months now, or for weeks, people have been asking, why is the update with the Calvin Brutus matter? Remember Calvin Brutus? CB 252. Calvin Brutus was the assistant commissioner who attracted 252 criminal charges back in 2024. I think he first appeared in court in October of 2024. So people have been asking, what is the position with this matter, right? Because you're hearing nothing, they're silent, right? Right. But let me give you an update as far as I did some research. Let me give you an update. And this is contained in the Stabrook News of last week, January the 6th. They said the case involving former Assistant Commissioner Calvin Brutus, the prosecution yesterday, that is on the 5th, made submissions before magistrate regarding the mode of trial and the possible consolidation of multiple criminal charges arising from alleged financial misconduct. So when it came up on the 5th, the prosecution, right? The prosecution, they made submissions to the magistrate asking for some of these cases to be consolidated. 252 charges. And I believe in many cases, the particulars relate to perhaps the same thing and are repeating. So they're asking for consolidation, meaning they're going to go through and maybe find that 5, 6, 7, or whatever number, the same facts basically relate to the charge, and they're asking for it to be consolidated so you don't have any 5, 6, or 7 different trials, maybe one trial to deal with that set of matters. They said Brutus is currently facing hundreds of criminal charges, including allegations of fraud, money laundering, misconduct in public office, and related financial offenses. Following an investigation conducted by the Special Organized Crime Unit, the charges stemmed from alleged improper handling and mismanagement of police funds during his tenure in the police force. During the hearing on the 5th, the prosecution informed the court that the matter is scheduled to resume on January the 22nd, when submissions will be laid over and replies are in relation to whether some of the charges should be consolidated. The issue arises from a defense request that certain charges, which allegedly arises from the same set of facts, be joined for trial. As I've been saying, the same set of facts. So it looked like the defense said, let's put all these things together. This guy's the same set of facts to inquire into these matters. They go on to say the prosecution said that while it anticipates that some charges may be suitable for consolidation, others may require separate, others may remain separate. That is a no-brainer. That is what they're saying. The court is expected to rule on the issue after hearing full arguments from both sides. Let me stick a pin. I can't see no court, right, not agreeing when they review the facts that some of these matters should be consolidated and tried simultaneously, right? So you get 10, 12, or whatever number charges, but because of the facts, because the facts are almost the same, they're going to say we can make one thing and then we hear all of these matters together. So you're saving court time. You got to try one and then come back and you go through the same facts with the same witnesses to try the next one. So I can anticipate. The ball is telling me that the magistrate will agree. The question will be what are or which are the matters to be consolidated. Let me move on, right? However, proceedings, listen to this part. This is the sweet part. This sweet part. This one you get a little popcorn and your cokes or perhaps something even more potent. Hear what this part says. However, proceedings took a new turn when the defense introduced a fresh application arguing that the criminal charges before the magistrate court mirror disciplinary charges previously brought against Brutus under the Police Discipline Act. Defense counsel contend that Brutus was already subjected to disciplinary proceedings before a tribunal appointed by the Police Service Commission, which resulted in his dismissal from the Ghana Police Force. According to the defense, the disciplinary tribunal, or as the sergeant say, the disciplinary tribal union, right, examined substantially the same allegations now forming the basis of the criminal charges. Counsel argued that allowing a criminal proceedings to continue would amount to an abuse of process, and on that basis, He asked the court to dismiss the charges. The magistrate noted that the application raises serious legal issues, including whether the prior disciplinary action precludes the continuation of a criminal proceeding. She directed that written submission be filed. The prosecution will be afforded an opportunity to respond, following by a reply from the defense before the court delivers a ruling. The matter has been adjourned to January 22nd, when the court is expected to hear arguments on the consolidation of charges, the legal effect of the disciplinary proceedings, and whether any of the charges against Brutus should be dismissed. Now, let me understand. You know, I tell you, I love this thing, man. I love the research and so on. Brutus got 252 criminal charges, right? All right. And then let me say again, I have no sympathy for Brutus, you know. No sympathy. But that doesn't preclude me from stating the facts as they are, right? That doesn't preclude me. Because Brutus, I say this again, I said it before, is responsible for all my legal troubles. Brutus and others is responsible. All the lies they're telling me, right? All right. But that doesn't prevent me from putting the facts as they are. If it's helpful to him, so be it. That is how it is operates. So be it, right? So he got his 252 criminal charges. The first, I think, 30 charges on sometime October, and shortly after 200 and something charges. We know the thing within the media, the president talking about it, the attorney general, all of it. Not the president, yeah, the vice president big on the thing and so on. Brutus moved to court with enough applications and so on. Now, while these charges are pending in the court, the Police Service Commission, they say, establish a tribunal to inquire into disciplinary actions and as the lawyers in defense say, resulting from the same matters that before the court. And we had argued then, and we maintain that position, that if the matters are before the court, wait until and hear what the court. No, they wanted to dismiss him. And from the time the tribunal was put together, I said then that the only aim of the tribunal is to dismiss Brutus. Yeah, remember that? The students who have been here long ago, I said that the only aim of that tribunal was to dismiss Brutus, which they did. They dismissed him, right? Because one, and I'm sure CC gonna tell you how the Constitution say, one, we made the point that the Constitution of Guyana is specific as to who can deal with disciplinary matters involving any police rank from, well, it's from constable basically. Let me explain that. From constable all the way to assistant commissioner. And why I say constable? Because even though you may know that the Service Commission promotes from inspector to assistant commissioner, there are provisions in the Constitution where the Service Commission acts as the ultimate disciplinary authority in the Guyana Police Force. So if a constable is disciplined by the commissioner or by any disciplinary authority, that matter can be appealed all the way to the Police Service Commission. So if the commissioner awards a punishment that the constable or any other rank below inspector is not in favor of, they can appeal that to the Police Service Commission. So yes, while the Service Commission promotes and disciplines from inspector to assistant commissioner, they also have the power as the disciplinary authority. So if the commission dismisses somebody, they can run to the Police Service Commission. Right? So we understand this. All right. The Constitution is specific. It says that if, and I'm paraphrasing here, it says that when it comes to disciplinary matter, the commission can delegate its authority to inquire into disciplinary matter to another member of the Police Service Commission or to a member of the Guyana Police Force. Listen to it. This is what the Constitution says, you know. Article 211 or something. CC can tell you all the direct thing. It says that if, when it comes to disciplinary matter, the commission, these are the people who can inquire into disciplinary matters against a police rank, inspector to assistant commissioner. There must be a member of the commission. So it can delegate, the commission can decide, either one or more member can inquire into this matter. They can also delegate, I think this is 212, they can delegate that authority to a member of the Guyana Police Force. Those persons that formed the tribunal to inquire into Brutus matter, chaired, I think, by the attorney Shoshona Lal, including Silal Prasad and others. None of them, not a single one of them, was a member of the Police Service Commission, nor a member of the Guyana Police Force. And therefore, when we read that particular article of the Constitution, they were precluded from inquiring. So it was unlawful. I have no questions about that. It was unlawful. So, all right, they went ahead and they gave a ruling. And I have, and let me send you all, before bringing CC, to Stabrook News of February the 6th, 2025. Guys, after the dismissal of Brutus, they have something. He was charged, 2 charges, they say, this under the Police Discipline Act, Chapter 1701, the Police Discipline Act. And there were so many violations of that act in terms of the investigation, because the Act 253 tells you who can investigate an offense against discipline. And none of the people who investigated qualified to investigate. None. And then the particulars, one says that the charge for let me read it under section 4Z. You know, section 4Z is the blanket section, right? In the Police Discipline Act, Chapter 1701, the offenses are outlined in alphabetical order from A right up to Z. And the Z, the last one, is the blanket one, which says conduct to the prejudice of good order or discipline. So I was taught that when you go through from A to Y, and you can't pin down an offense, conduct to the prejudice of good order or discipline. Previously, it used to be improper conduct. Before this act, improper conduct. And if you remember, well, let me tell you what the old sergeant, when a man asks the old sergeant, what is improper conduct? The sergeant said, by simple, if your conduct improper, it's improper. Simple definition. Your conduct improper, so it's improper. So they brought that blanket thing, and what it says, y'all bear with me, particulars, that the defaulter, this Calvin Brutus, on the 11th day of January 2024, gave instructions for payments of goods procured by the government of Guyana for the Guyana Police Force in the sum of $13,670,204 to be made from the Guyana Police Force Welfare Fund in violation of Standing Order 36 of the Guyana Police Force. And then I said, conduct to the prejudice of good order again, particulars that the defendant Calvin Brutus during the month of December 2023 caused records of the quartermaster stores of the Guyana Police Force to be falsified, purporting to show that goods to the value of $101,441.50 were delivered to Carwin Nicholson, were delivered by Carwin Nicholson, trading as 3D construction to the Guyana Police Force, knowing same to be false. That is what they accuse. And let me read the last part. This is from the report. They say, listen to this carefully, from the tribunal report, and this is quoting, from the tribunal report, the evidence was cogent and compelling, overwhelming, let me read about, sorry. The evidence was cogent and compelling, overwhelming against Mr. Brutus in relation to disciplinary charges. It related how Mr. Brutus abused his position of power and his authority as a senior member of the Guyana Police Force to coerce junior ranks and other ranks of the force to violate the established practices, standing orders, and laws in relation to the procurement of goods and payment to suppliers and or purported suppliers. Another quotation, they say, it established a pattern of planned, deliberate, and reprehensible conduct of, at a minimum, undue influence and worse, coercion and duress exerted by Mr. Brutus on ranks under his subordination and charge to breach established practices, standing orders, and laws in order to defraud the Guyana Police Force of millions of dollars. Then they go on, another quote, in fact, from the evidence, the tribunal found that in a single day, Mr. Brutus in an undisputed abuse of power and authority caused over $140 million to be unlawfully paid out of the budgetary allocation and welfare fund of the Ghana Police Force to companies with which he had personal and direct and indirect affiliation. And then I go on to tell you what the tribunal is. You could pull it up. It's the whole thing is there. Stabrook News. Let me give you all the date again. Stabrook News, February the 6th, 2025. Brutus dismissed from the Ghana Police Force. And then it's the Police Service Commission Tribunal finds abuse of power. Now they got a lot of things I want to think. Brutus is charged, among other things, misconduct in public office. Right? A lot of the things we talk about, misconduct in public office. Right? And other related, it's simple larceny by public officer, money laundering, and a whole set of things. And as the submission is saying, many of these charges now before the court, criminal charges, some of the same facts they use in the disciplinary charges, the same facts were used. So there is something called double jeopardy. There is something called double jeopardy, meaning that if you are tried, convicted, or if you get or if the matter is dismissed in a particular case, you can't bring it back. You cannot come back with the matter that Brutus was tried, dismissed, even though, as we have said, the whole establishment of the tribunal was unlawful, unconstitutional, but they dismissed it since 2024. So let me see where it will go. I would love to hear when they come up on the 23rd or whenever they come, 24th or whatever, what are the arguments? So we're going to continue to follow it. Let me bring in CC because I'm sure CC has a lot to say on this matter as well. Then we're going to go in, we're going to go into this passport or the revocation or the visa story just now. Share the live. CC, let me hear your take on the Brutus matter, man. And we've given an update because people have been asking us to update on what has been going on with the Brutus matter. So I think we are doing that now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a lot to say. And let me put things in proper context. When allegations of misconduct are made or is made, the investigator has got to decide on which branch he's dealing with, which way you go in, Billy. Are you dealing with it criminally or are you dealing with departmentally? And you got to stick to which way you're going with. Here it is. Brutus, allegations against Brutus, and the Police Service Commission, for the matter, let me backtrack a bit. It's saying in under the Police Discipline Act that any allegations or investigations of breach of discipline in Section 3.2 shall be conducted as soon as practicable by a member of the force not below the rank of a sergeant and of a higher rank than the rank who is alleged to have committed the offense. So the investigation is if a sergeant, that only a sergeant will start with a sergeant, and if a sergeant commits himself, inspector upwards. In the case of Brutus, the person who should be investigating Brutus has got to be a deputy commissioner. Remember Brutus, assistant commissioner, and who's going to investigate him got to be a deputy commissioner. Now this unlawful and illegal police service commission set up a tribunal to deal with Brutus, which is a complete breach of the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And let me read section 212.1 to 12.2 saying, the Police Service Commission may, by directions in writing and subject to such conditions as it thinks fit, delegate any of its powers under the preceding paragraph or any one of the more of the members to any one or more of the members of the commission or to the commissioner of police or in the case of the power to exercise disciplinary control to any other members of the force, any other member of the force. So this section 3.2 talking about the Police Service Commission delegating its powers to any member of the Service Commission or any member of the Guyana Police Force to exercise disciplinary control to any other member of the force. And let me backtrack a bit, section 212.1 saying, subject to the provision of Article 211.1, the power to make appointment to any office of the force of above the rank of inspector, the power to exercise disciplinary control over provisions over persons holding or acting in such offices, and the power to remove such persons from office shall vest with the Police Service Commission. So in terms of dealing with discipline for members of the Guyana Police Force, from inspector to assistant commissioner of police, appointment, discipline, removal from office, that power lies with the Police Service Commission according to the Constitution of Guyana and no one else. Now here it is, the Police Service Commission, illegal Police Service Commission is called them, form a tribunal to inquire into disparate matters against Brutus, and the persons that they employ are all civilians, contrary to the Constitution. Silal Prasad, a former commissioner of police, was a member there. I don't know why you tell me then though. I'm not a member of the police force anymore. It say that it got to be police or a member of the Police Service Commission to conduct a tribunal. But they went on with all the civilians and they convicted Brutus, which is unconstitutional. And I don't know why Brutus not challenging them. I haven't heard him challenge them. The sergeant said it was a tribal union. Perhaps she's right. That it was illegal what they did. Brutus, assistant commissioner, no deputy commissioner there went to the court, the tribunal, and gave evidence that he or she conducted inquiry in relation to the disparate matter. It's saying that it must be a rank higher than the rank who is alleged to have committed the offense. So here it is, an illegal tribunal convicted Brutus and send him home, dismiss him. I hold no brief for Brutus. Brutus was responsible for me getting a legal charge, a bogus charge, conspiracy to defraud the government of $10 million. I have no sympathy for him. But I just want to present the facts as they are, the evidence as stated, so that others could learn. And if others are confronted with a situation like Brutus had, they would know what to do. So the bottom line is that the Police Service Commission, which is led by a bishop, flagrantly violated the Constitution of Guyana when they appointed a tribunal made up of civilians, contrary to the Constitution, and the same tribunal convicted Brutus, and they accepted it, and they conformed and sent home Brutus. It was illegal, and for me the conviction is null and void and of no legal effect.
Now, God, I see a student asking the question. What we outlined just now in terms of the investigation applies to disciplinary matters under Chapter 1701, Police Discipline Act, Chapter 1701. It does not apply to any criminal act. So understand this thing clearly, right? So the investigation we talk about, Section 5.3 of the Police Discipline Act, Chapter 1701, says that the matters must be investigated. Any report of an alleged breach of discipline must be reported by someone of the rank of or above the rank of sergeant. And in any event, the investigator has to be of a rank higher than the person who is alleged to have committed the breach of discipline. Clear? So let me understand it. If you are accused of committing a criminal act, this doesn't apply, right? Doesn't apply. So any constable can investigate the commissioner of police, can investigate the deputy commissioner, providing it is a criminal act they're investigating. So understand this thing clearly, right? Understand it clearly. And in the Police Act, Police Discipline Act, there's no provision for no assistant investigator. And I had to bring this to the police force and the Office of Professional Responsibility when Makanlal was in charge, because they get constable involved in the investigation process, and they wanted to use the argument to say, well, they're not the investigator, they're just assisting in taking statements and all that. I said, nonsense. The act doesn't the act doesn't contemplate that, because the act makes it clear who can investigate. So we understand it clearly. Criminal act is criminal act. Under the Police Discipline Act is different. And what they did to Brutus, because they said so, that these charges were filed under the Police Discipline Act, Chapter 1701, more specifically Section 4Z, and they outlined all the particulars and the statement of offense and all of that. So you can't come now and claim that, well, look, the investigation part did not comply because that wasn't the requirement. They are clear. The Police Discipline Act 1701 is clear, and the older policemen here will tell you they know CC and all them. I lectured on that. I was considered someone who was very knowledgeable in 1701. That is why I can rattle out all these sections up to now, right? Up to now. Now let me move on to the big subject of the day. Are you share the live? Share the live, please. I beg you, share the live. Right? Share the live. You know what I'm going to talk about now? We will now speak for the next 40 minutes.